Hello, Bulldog Nation. Welcome back into the studio. Week 2 of the football season. Coach, congratulations on the big win last week against Deer Park.
Thanks,
we know
sir.
it kind of relieves me a little bit what I was just saying before we went on air. We go in, you can't win them all unless you win the first one.
Yes, sir.
And that's the most important thing that we did. Great ball game overall for our defense. 99 total yards is what I had. The kids had. I'm not sure what you had. Doesn't matter. That's what we had. So 99 was what we were told and what we had in there. We started off. It looked like a 12-round bout. You know, you kind of feel each other out. You're going back and forth. We had a little fiasco with just a little blunder with a kickoff return. We flipped the field with a 54-yard punt. We hold them back there. We go back and forth again, turn around, hand the ball off to Bright. He runs for 70-plus yards. Back and forth again. I saw a lot of improvement from the scrimmage. Mm-hmm. Those are our main plays, and there'll be some video to follow this. But what did you see coming out of the field house for that first half?
Well, the speed of the game didn't shock us this time. I mean, that was the main thing when we were scrimmaging Clear Falls, is how fast and their tempo, that they were going. We knew coming into the game that Deer Park didn't have a Molina or somebody who could really stretch the field on us, so that allowed us to keep guys in the box. We knew they were big. We were worried about how physical they were going to be up front, and we had some young guys step in and play, and they were physical. Our starters did a great job. And, on defense, we did what we always talk about. Don't give up the big play, make them earn it. And the only time they were able to really drive the field on us, it was us. We had a face mask penalty and a pass interference, allowed them to get down there and get that first field goal. But other than that, on defense side of the ball, we played really well. Offensively up front, our offensive line, they did an outstanding job. You go back and you look, we rushed for over 200 yards, and it was because of those guys. they were able to get movement. They were physical the whole game. We had lots of pancakes. They did a really good job of communicating, and we were able to, take advantage of some opportunities that they gave us, and so it was a good overall game for us. Finally got to get out on the field on special teams and execute, and we did some really good things.
One of the things that you talked about, the penalty, we had the pass interference call. It wasn't that he was holding or well, the problem was he turned to find the ball and then ran over their receiver. He outran their receiver to the ball. So I remember talking about that one while we were in the booth the other day. And the other one was, it probably was a pass interference, but I saw a pretty clean ball game, and I talked to our counterpart over at Deer Park, and he said the same thing, a pretty clean ball game, back and forth. You could tell that the Corona bug had kind of been around a little bit and kind of slowed us down in preparation, because you could tell Deer Park had some issues with it. Every once in a while we were just a little bit, but it's a huge difference of what we saw in the scrimmage and then where we were going into the ball game.
Yes, sir.
I had 99 total yards. What'd y'all have?
186.
186 total. So see, my guys are fired. They're fired right now. The penalty yards is probably what got us on there, because even the Chronicle guy walked up to me and was saying, I only have 99 too. I said, yeah, that's what we've got too. So somewhere we missed some plays.
I'll take it. somebody
slipped in there. Really proud of Bright. He stepped up. That first run he had, he didn't even have to make the move.
No.
It was just straight away. Great offensive line. He ran to daylight. That's pretty much what he did.
Well, we saw on video that last year, to some formations we had, they would overshift the secondary. And so we worked all week when we saw that at the line of scrimmage, flipping the play. And we flipped the play. And, like I talked about, the offensive line played phenomenal. When you got guys blocking like that and you can run untouched, it makes it pretty easy. So,
the other thing that stood out in my mind is that we're driving and we're starting to pass around a little bit, hitting the shorts, hitting the drag, hitting the tight end a little bit, throwing to them. It started to look like we were getting in our field. Cooper was sitting in the back. Mm-hmm. He was, didn't have the happy feet, was dumping the ball off left and right. And then we got tangled up in there a couple times and it stopped us. But that was the first time that I noticed that we had gotten into a rhythm.
Yes, sir.
And that type of rhythm. So do you see that going into next week?
Yes, sir. I think so. I think, you go through the 6 weeks we had where we were just practicing in shirts and shorts, and you install the whole offense twice. So now we're on about the third time of installing everything. and you're starting to figure out, okay, we're going to be good at this, we're not going to be good at this, and so you continue to work on those things. So yeah, I think as we continue to run the ball really well, we're going to be able to get some guys on play action, and our boot game is going to get better. So yeah, you see that, and it's good to have, Austin Escobar was a Deer Park kid who came over, and he was able to catch a couple of short passes and make some guys miss and get some good first downs for us. So that was positive.
When you came out of we didn't have anybody to talk to, but when you came out the second half, we had looked at when they're getting the ball, we're on the backside, and one of the things that stood out in my mind is when we kicked off, we went and attacked in the special teams. When we had our punts, and I don't remember how many punts we had exactly, but we were down the field this time. Your gunners, your outside men, I noticed a huge difference from where we were last year.
Yes, sir.
That to me, our special teams has stepped up. The field goal, the 45-yard field goal, I can't believe I forgot that, but a 45-yard field goal, they didn't have anybody close by coming in to block. Where last year we were sitting there thinking, oh no, we got to get this, we got to get that. I noticed the attacking the side of it in our special teams. We did have one little small problem, but that's nothing that we can't handle out of there. The other thing that got me were the chop blocks, and I know a couple of those, we got kids that got tangled up and fell. We got one that came in late that wasn't, but that's stuff that's fixable. That's something that's very minute in the overall detail of things. But what is your overall take from the Deer Park game? What do you see coming out of it?
Our number one goal, going into any game is on Friday night is we want to win.
Right.
We're going to do whatever it takes to win. We're going to play the kids that are going to give us the best opportunity to win. I was really excited, as you talked about, our execution in special teams. Since we've been back I guess we're going on week 9 now. You've been to practice. We practice special teams every day, the whole time, because I wanted us to be ahead in that, and I think we are at every level in all of our programs. Having Hilburn back, kicking and punting really helps. He's solid.
Yes.
I see that one day he's going to kick on Saturdays at the next level, and our execution overall on offense and defense, and us doing the things that we want to do to be a good football team. I mean, we want to run the football and we want to play great defense, and I think we didn't turn the ball over. No. I don't even know if we did turn the ball over.
Well, we had that one fumble he put his helmet right in the ball on that one. When we watched that a couple times, it was a good tackle. It dislodged the ball.
And then we had 2 turnovers on defense, and those, we didn't give up any big plays. So when we were able to do those things, and now we can continue to build on those things, I think we got a chance to be a really good football team. Did
you see anybody that actually just stood out from the Deer Park game that may have moved a little bit in that depth chart?
We had a couple of young guys that at the last minute we decided to bring up just because we were worried about the conditioning and the cramping, and we wanted to rotate guys early. And so we had Nathan White and Elijah Hortada, both sophomores that we brought up and played on the D-line, and their effort and their motor and the way they play really stood out to me for guys that we didn't expect. Desmond Broadneck's, Patrick TP tore his ACL. He's going to be out for the season, and Des stepped right in, and boy, when he runs around and he has a great motor, and he made some huge plays late in the game. Offensively, the whole offensive line, Albert Hernandez, David Hernandez, Jordan Perry, Zeke Treble, and Zane Heyman. They were physical, they were moving. You can tell we're in year 2 of the program now. They understand everything. So just the way those guys played. And then, Cooper Upshaw, first varsity start as a quarterback, found a way to win. And that's why I told him at the end of the game, man, heck of a job just being the commander out there.
I saw White go in the game, and I had to look his name up because I wasn't ready for him. And, I've known him for a year now because he's been in the program. But between him and Dez, I was just floored on, like you said, their motor. I called White multiple times back to back where he's in the backfield having a little pressure on Potts, or if it was Setall or whoever it was that they had in there. And in Dez, there was a play, the little quick out that they threw that he tackles from behind. And I was, and Dez played with us last year on the JV team, so I got to watch him a lot. And he was moving around. I was very impressed with those two. Hate to hear about TP. He's another one that's grown up with my son, and I've known his parents. She teaches in the district. I hate to hear that, and know he's going to be out now for the year. No other major injuries?
No, sir. We got out of there. Other than that, we got out of there pretty healthy.
I hate to hear that for him, but that's where we are.
And he was playing really well. He was
He was
the guy on defense that got us lined up, and kind of was wouldn't say that the leader, but he got us lined up and got us where we were supposed to be. But Summers and Broadneck stepped right in, and they're going to be good. We'll be fine.
Folks, we're going to take a break. We appreciate everybody that watched the game this past week. When we got to the end of the broadcast and we were getting ready to go home, we were over 9,500 views. We're looking at it's going to be over 10,000 total views without the watch parties. We appreciate you a whole lot. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe now, and we'll be back right after these messages.
If you're ready to become a skilled and safe driver, contact us at South Region Driving School. We are conveniently located next to LaPorte High School. We offer driver education classes and private driving lessons for teen and adult drivers. All courses are state approved and can be tailored to meet all your driving needs. At South Region Driving School, our top priority is always the safety of our students. We are currently practicing in-class social distancing. DPS has a very long wait list for driving tests. Don't wait, we can do the DPS approved road test here at South Region. From the first time behind the wheel to the day of the driving test, we'll guide your teen to success. At South Region Driving School, we develop safe drivers.
As a Bulldog alumni myself, I know firsthand how this community steps up to take care of its own. At Gringos, we pride ourselves in doing the same.
Since 1993, we supported numerous organizations and causes with the intent of making our community a better place. Whether it's spirit nights, donations, or sponsorships, Gringos stands ready to do our part. But we can't do it without you, our guests.
So next time you're catering lunch at the refinery or meeting up after the game, let Gringos do the cooking and help us change lives one taco at a time.
Go Dogs!
Are you looking for your dream home? Or maybe ready to sell your current home for a fresh start? Main Properties is here to provide you a personal and stress-free process. Main Properties has been servicing the LaPorte area and its surrounding cities for over 30 years with pride and spirit. Let one of our expert realtors here at Main Properties provide you with the caring service that is tailored to what you need. Come see us in the heart of Old LaPorte at 1014 South 2nd Street and let us put sold on your sign.
Coach, I know we talked about it last episode about the cleaning process, and today you and I kind of got a little video to allow the parents and the community members to see what it actually looks like on a normal basis. Now that's an everyday or what they're going to see today. That's an alcohol solution, a quick kill, go in and spray. But tell us about what it looks like and how you've been using this as we're going.
Well, the first thing is the splash shields. I mean, you could see the kids wearing them in the games.
Yes.
That allowed them to, I think that really helped us. We wore cramping and stuff because I don't think we're getting enough water. But the splash shields allow them not to wear the mask under their helmet when they played, and I think that those really helped us. The first thing that we do is after every practice, in every game, we wash everything that the kids wear, and that's our wash service does that. The kids leave their helmet and their shoulder pad on top of their lockers, and we walk by and we spray it with the alcohol solution. We spray the lockers, we spray the weight room, we do their bathrooms, I do all the door handles in the building, and we do that every day after practice before we go home. It's added a lot to my plate, but we got to do whatever we got to do to keep our kids safe. And then every Saturday we bring the fogger in at the end of the day, and we fog all the locker rooms and the weight room and the coaches' offices and everything. So we're trying our hardest to make sure that we're doing everything possible to keep our kids playing. You know,
I made the comment to you while we were in there. It doesn't smell like a locker room at all. There's no that. I was used to smelling that locker room, but when he walked in there today after we had sprayed again, it doesn't have that locker room smell. It actually is. It's helping in different areas also. You know, you talked about the fogger. One of the things that we do also, and I know what we have, that's a different chemical that we use after everybody's gone home and everybody's out of there. That's a residual chemical that you use in the fogger that kind of takes place of a lot of other things and covers the whole area. So that's one of the areas that we do also in the school. So we're doing it there also. So let's shift gears. Our last non-district opponent, Clear Lake, Thursday game, short week, going there, early kickoff, 6 o'clock kickoff. What'd you see this week in film?
Well, I think it's, you know, last week we played Deer Park and they didn't have anybody could stretch the field really, and they were big. We were worried about them running the football. I mean, we get the complete opposite this week. We got, you know, Deer Park has a couple guys that have got several not Deer Park, Clear Lake. Yeah. They got several guys that got some Division I offers. They're athletes. They can stretch the field. They got the Humphreys kid. He's a 500-meter kid. He plays DB and wide receiver. They got the Wilson kid, who's probably one of the best safeties in the Houston area. You know, so they have good athletes that can stretch the field. They have Tyler Durst, who was a LaPorte kid who's playing quarterback and wide receiver for them. So they got lots of athletes, but up front they're not as big as Deer Park was. They're decently athletic. On defense, they play real hard. They're going to run to the football and they're going to hit you. So that's the difference in the two teams that we're playing.
They played Pasadena.
They played Pasadena High. They beat them 59-7, I think, is what the final score was. They're a spread team, so they're going to spread you out 2x2, 3x1. Try to run the quarterback a little bit. They got two kids playing quarterback. They're both fairly athletic. So that's a different game plan for us, trying to contain those kids. They try to run the ball, and when they get in the two-back set, you know, that doesn't overly concern me. You know, I think we're fairly well against the run. And then defensively, you know, they're going to blitz. They're going to stack the box like Deer Park did and try to force us to throw the football. And we got some things game planned to, you know, kind of counter that this week.
Did anything stand out in the Pasadena game? And yes, I know it's Pasadena, and they struggle to get a team every year. Did anything really just stand out and kind of play anything? Did it just stayed in the same package almost all the time? Anything different?
Well, they have two running backs that are fairly decent. They're good football players, and they're able to get into different formations with the same personnel. So that's something that, you know, takes a little bit away from you defensively. You got to see them line up, and then you call defense instead of calling it 4 personnel. Yeah. I was fairly impressed with their quarterback, number 8. He's a senior, and it's not so much what he did during the play. It's as the play breaks down and he takes off running. He's a really good athlete, and he can run away from you. They do a good job of using Durst, you know, with quarterback run game stuff for him. So yeah, they're impressive, and then their DBs. You know, I told you about those two guys, and they got 2 other guys that are really well. So I mean, they cover really well. We'll see how well they tackle.
You know, with it being a short week, what changes have you had to do with this week's? You know, last week we come in, you had your normal routine, a Friday game. What changes have you done this week?
So what we did is we try to see all of our team scripts that we would see on a Monday. We saw them Monday during the period. Okay. Yesterday after school, we had a normal Tuesday practice. Okay. Today after school, we'll have a normal Wednesday practice. Okay. And we just try to get in that routine. You try not to, you don't want to get on their legs too much because you want them to be fresh. Yes. So, but we're trying to see as much as we can of what Clear Lake's going to do in a short time period. So, you know, video study for the kids. You know, we got everything out to them Sunday afternoon, a video and the game plan, so they could start looking at it. Those things become, you know, really valuable. And that's been one thing that's been, you know, kind of good about the being shut down is we had to find a way to get with our kids virtually, and we've taken advantage of that now during this time. So, you know,
here's another thing. You know, we're only getting 2 games, and instead of our 3 to take us into conference. We're facing conference, and I don't talk before our first opponent, but are we going to have we installed what we're going to take into conference into this game since we're 1 game short?
Well, I know defensively we have everything we've done, we've practiced. Everything we'll ever do in a game, we'll practice. We have some couple packages, pass rush stuff, maybe coverage stuff that we hadn't really worked on, but those are week-to-week game plan things. Offensively, I think we put everything in, but we'll continue to grow. And as we get good at things and we figure out our team, like, hey, we're good at this, we'll grow that package, you know, or if we're good with a certain personnel, you're going to see some things different this week that we didn't show last week that we're trying to do to get people out of the box to help our run game. And so it'll be a little bit different, but they continue to grow week to week. And it's really based on, you know, what does the other team do? What is it, you know, where are their best players and how do we counter how they attack us?
Packaging and everything.
Yes, sir.
It's one of those things that we're everything is different, and you're already short a week, and that just your planning time, and which I know we had a load time at the beginning. It's just one of those things that is a little different than what we're used to before, because you're coming into the third game, you either have that bye before conference starts, or you go right into conference depending on which one you were in and where we are. Update on 5A or 9-5A, which is our conference. I believe Port Arthur Memorial won, we won, and Baytown Lee won.
Yes,
and everybody else got beat. Now, there were some pretty good clubs that some of them were playing this week. Angleton and Ball, we talked about that one a little bit. Klein, that we had Memorial over at Klein. Port Arthur knocked off Port Neches, who may be down a little bit this year. Anything out of those games last week that really stood out?
No, you know, Friendswood played Summer Creek. And
oh, yes, that's right.
And Friendswood, you know, held their own for, midway through the third quarter. Then had an injury to one of their best players, and we're hoping he gets back soon, because, I mean, you hate to see a good player go down as a senior. Yes. But when he was playing, they were in the middle of that game. The athleticism of Summer Creek, you know, wasn't overtaking them. So Friends was, you know, going to be one of the best teams in the district. And then Port Arthur Memorial, I mean, they jumped out on Port Neches. It was 20-0, and then, you know, Port Neches got back in the game and they went to overtime. Yes. But you know, they got some athletes and they can run. I think those are going to be two of the tougher teams in our district. But it's going to be a fun season. Well,
we'll update everybody each week with the conference as we get into it starting next week. We're not going to overlook Lake by any means whatsoever.
Yes, sir.
I don't believe in that. You know that. But we're finishing up this week. It is a short week. Tickets did go on sale, and we're taping this on a Tuesday, so tickets went on sale this morning at 6.
Yes, sir.
And general admission, nothing, everything's kind of it's kind of weird because we're limited on how we can broadcast, but you can sit anywhere you want to. I'm not trying to dig on anybody, but that's anyway. Y'all will travel over. The JV will freshmen, will travel over tomorrow to Lake High School.
Yes, sir. So the freshmen play at 4:30 and 6 at Clear Lake High School.
And it's $2 to get in at the gate.
At the gate.
No restrictions.
No
on that.
restrictions.
Okay, so there you go, right there, folks. We will be back next week, getting ready for the conference. A little bit more information for y'all. The tickets for us for next week will be the same. There'll be a package that comes out. Nothing different than what we had before. You'll have your code that you'll put in to get your tickets, so don't worry about that. I expect after we win this ball game this Friday, there'll be a lot of people looking for tickets next week as we open conference, and we want you to be there or watch us on lpsportsnet.com. Remember, this week we've got the junior high tonight. Again, that's the 8th grades tonight. The JV will be at home. They'll be broadcast.
The JV white's going to Cy Falls.
That's right. So it's JV orange
at home.
At home. What time?
At 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock tomorrow. So that one, don't forget about that one. Thursday, for you junior high parents, it will be in the Bulldog Center for the Lobos and the Bullpups playing volleyball. They'll be in there. And then Friday, folks, we want you to tune in after the ball game on Thursday, because we have the Thursday night ball game. That's what we're here for. But Friday night, volleyball opens up in the Bulldog Center. We'll be there for varsity. We want to make sure y'all get there. Coach, we'll see you next week. Good luck this week, and I'll be on the sideline with you. Folks, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.